Good evening there. Tonight's the 26th, and we are out doing another fine, um, going through some more albums here. Pulled a bunch of Disney albums tonight. Most of these I bought at Goodwill or other places. Um, Disney is fun to collect if you're out record shopping, especially resale shops, mainly because everyone bought them for their kids. The only problem is a lot of them are always beat up. So you got to dig through a lot of copies to get some good copies. We'll start with this. Is what we're playing right now is Walt Disney's Merriest Tunes, and you'll see how beat this up. This is how you normally find them at Goodwill because people buy these albums for their kids. Actually, this is interesting. Disney was good at promoting themselves. Notice it was for Gulf Oil, so it's probably a gas station giveaway. Um, And then also, but that's how they normally find. But from time to time, you do well, and someone took care of their albums. There's a really nice, clean copy. And the vinyl sounds really good as well. Listening to that. Disney was really good about, even from the early times, hiring pop artists at the time. Jimmy Cricket actually was a well-known ukulele artist, who we're hearing in the background now, hopefully. But he did a lot of, like I said, the gentleman who did Jimmy Cricket. Let me see if I can remember who that is. I do not. But he was a ukulele artist, and he was in, did a lot of things for Disney over years, but he had his own career. Disney was very good at reissuing their albums over and over again. And they would also do different versions of it. So this is a Mary Poppins soundtrack. Really nice copy, and so he has a nice gatefold with a lot of stuff. The Sherman Brothers were in their height of writing a lot of tunes at this time for them. But besides that, they also have this, which is songs from. This is a knockoff, and that's actually not even Disney. But you'll find that from time to time. And there's actually only 4 songs on here. So it's a knockoff kind of cheap label trying to still sell some. You see that still with kids' product. And then Disney would also do this type of thing. Like this is the Mary Poppins with an illustrated read-along book. And it would often have a story version. And so side 1 would be a story, a bridge story, and then side 2 would have some of the popular songs from there. And then, like I said, they would reissue from year to year. Here's the storybook version of the Jungle Book, one of my favorites. I think one of the first Disney films I actually ever saw. And then here's the original. I believe this is the first printing, the original soundtrack. Still decent gatefold. Again, they're somewhat hard to come by, and they're really nice with the artwork. Here's songs from Bambi. I would not recommend sitting around watching Bambi right now. It's probably not going to cheer anyone up as far as Disney goes. And then here's the storybook version of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Sorry, my album slid on me there. Apologize to the people for that thing there. I'll try not to bump the camera again. There's an early version of the Disney soundtrack of Pinocchio. Now, the ones I'm showing are all 45s. A lot of the really old, early Disney stuff, there's actually 78s out there. You can track out. I have not gotten much into the 78s. Disneyland Records, they started their own label pretty early. I think for a while, early on, they were distributed by Columbia. In storybook version again of Robin Hood, which I believe this had narrator was Roger Miller. That's right. And he had a couple of hit songs out there with Roger Miller. So in the 60s, when was a very hot artist.
The wonderful thing about Tiggers is Tiggers are wonderful things.
And there's
Their tops are
Peter
made
Pan.
out of rubber. Their bottoms are made out of springs. Their
Storybook
bouncy,
version
bouncy,
again.
bouncy, fun. But the most wonderful
Again,
thing about Tiggers is I'm the only
got lucky and
one.
found some decent copies, but a lot of times, especially the storybook ones that are given kids to listen to, are really beat up. And
Oh, the wonderful thing about Tiggers is Tiggers are wonderful.
And again, I knocked it in. Sorry about that. I'm trying to set up better. Mickey Mouse Club. And this is a reissue from the original Mickey Mouse Club, probably when they were in syndication.
Tiggers are awfully sweet. Everyone else is jealous.
Yeah.
That's why I repeat.
And then Disney would also do a lot of
Tiggers are wonderful things.
educational things for a while. They would put them out from time to time. There's acting out the ABCs, so give activities for children to do. That'd be a good thing to do today. Maybe I should just make a video and play that so people can do that while they're home these days. Learning to tell time is fun. Just show subtraction with Jiminy Cricket again. Note there's a whole collection of these, all $1.98. And then Disney would also, they worked actually with Rankin Bass a little bit on a couple of projects in the late 70s, early. Here's the soundtrack to The Hobbit, which Rankin Bass did a animated version of The Hobbit, and I believe they did Lord of the Rings to it. A lot of Tolkien people know more about that than me. And here's from Mickey Mouse and the Beanstalk. I believe this might have actually been an original shorter film. I would have to check that out. And then this, you can see everywhere. It was probably one of their biggest sellers for years. And it's one of the early Halloween sound effects albums. Again, it sold tremendously well. You see it in cut-out pins all the time. I believe it's even been reissued on CD. Robin Hood and the Story of Robin Hood from the original motion picture. So it's actually one of the live actions I believe Disney did. And then this is a little more collectible. You don't see it as often. From Song of the South, Rare Rabbit. Again, Song of the South, for obvious reasons, not out on DVD, but there were some good songs from it that still are nice. Again, a little more rare. You don't see it as often, but I picked this up. Fairly nice copy of Uncle Remus. Again, for obvious reasons, you don't see that as much, but they did have some really good songs. Not all of them the best of taste today. And here's The Rescuers, favorite of a lot of people from, well, a little bit younger than me, the late 70s, early 80s. And was one of the first titles to really take off on home video. Also, the Aristocrats are another nice collection there. And Mickey Mouse trying to get on the disco. And they're not afraid to jump on a trend as well, same as the Muppets were. They're Mousercise. Get out there and exercise like Mickey and Minnie.
I'll rescue Oakley. I'm gone.
Pete's Dragon.
Gone.
Live action. I believe they recently redid this film as one of the recent remakes as well. This is a nice pickup. Disney's Fantasia. The original soundtrack. I believe it's the first issue of that. Interesting thing about this, when they reissued the film, I believe in the late 80s, early 90s, they decided to re-record the soundtrack digitally with a new conductor, and it was hated by everyone. No one was interested in it at all. But because of the digital sound, said it sounded too clean, and most people prefer the original. I believe the DVD actually has both versions of it. There's again another one of these kind of cash-in albums. It's Davy Crockett was from the Walt Disney production, not the original version. But here is Davy Crockett. This is stories, and of course it has Fess Parker, who went on from Davy Crockett to be Daniel Boone on his own, because he didn't own the rights to Davy Crockett's name. So pretty much did the same thing. And here's a yellow cover version.
I really have something, Shagger. I know it's mad, but it's
This is an interesting one. Disney's. I'm sorry, actually, this is not Disney, but that's we're in there anyways. This is the soundtrack to Cinderella, and it actually had a little game inside. And some of this is missing, but you don't see very often. And interestingly, it is early version of psychedelic colored vinyl on Dot Records. It was Jerry Lewis's attempt to kind of do a children's film. You can have the Dot Records original paper cover. One or two things that aren't Disney before we kind of get to the end here. There's the Tom Sawyer with Johnny Whitaker, who I believe he was Sigma and the Sea Monster. Quite popular, but interesting, it was not a Disney production, but they did have the Sherman Brothers, who wrote a ton of music for the Disney for years. Now we have a couple of Winnie the Pooh songs and stories from Winnie the Pooh. Always nice to have Winnie the Pooh stuff. This one's actually in really nice shape, which is surprising. So maybe the child grew out of it and mom and dad played it. And then I have a series of about 7 here. So somewhere in the, I believe in the late 50s or early 60s, Disney did a whole series of their reissued soundtracks. These really nice die-cut covers with a booklet inside. I actually came across a large collection of them, or about 7 or 8 anyway. Turn the record over here. There's Snow White, again with a really nice inside cover, and these are all very nice book and record sets from the Bambi. Again, this whole set was actually a Goodwill pickup. They're all really crisp and 50 cents a piece. Pinocchio.
Now as the ladder of life has been strung, you might think a
and Cinderella.
No, I spend me time in the ashes.
And then my final thing before we go here is this box set, which is a really amazing box set. The 50 years of Disney. I believe it came out early 90s. However, story I'm buying this, and I should have bought a lot more, has a nice booklet as well. A lot of pictures, stories behind a lot of the music. I actually bought this long ago when I was working at the Home Shopping Network, part-time doing television production. Anyway, it's a 5-volume set, a 4-volume set. However, I was working at the Home Shopping, and they were selling it through the Home Shopping Network. Must have been through a cutout warehouse, because the box set was 99 cents, and you could buy as many as you like. So that's what I have for Disney for tonight. Hope you enjoy it. Leave some comments. Let me know what you think. Love to. I can change it up and do things different if you like. And I'll try and think of something for tomorrow night. Tell my friends who work at Barnes Hospital, everyone stay safe. And all the healthcare workers out there, all stay safe. And thanks again. Leave comments and let me know what else you'd like to see. Everyone have a good evening, and please stay safe.